Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're stepping right into the boardroom to conduct a high-level executive audit on your Amazon advertising metrics. Listen, we all absolutely love the dopamine hit of logging in and seeing a dashboard full of glowing green numbers. It feels great, right? But today, we're going to look right past that. We're going to tear down some very comfortable delusions, strip away all the noise of those highly satisfying metrics, and uncover what actual, sustainable, aggressive growth looks like in the modern e-commerce landscape. Because frankly, your bottom line depends on understanding this exact reality.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We've got a structured breakdown for you today. We are going to start with the deceptive allure of vanity metrics. Then we'll get into the mechanics of ad cannibalization, how to actually measure your organic baseline, and strategies for true growth. Finally, we'll wrap it all up with a practical step-by-step weekly audit to keep your long-term profitability on track. Let's jump right into Section 1, the high ROAS vanity trap. A 10x return on ad spend. Seeing that massive number shining back at you looks incredible, doesn't it? Honestly, it feels like you and your team have just completely cracked the code. But we really need to talk about why this specific, highly celebrated metric so often masks a dying brand. Why do smart brands fall into this trap? Well, because it's safe. It is literally the most comfortable way for an ad manager or an agency to report success at the end of the month. But here's the catch. When you hyper-focus on achieving a 10x ROAS, you are almost always just hyper-focusing on your existing customers. You're efficiently harvesting the lowest-hanging fruit over and over again, completely neglecting the hard work of actual brand expansion. And brand expansion is the only thing that guarantees your long-term survival. And that brings us to a pretty blunt reality check. You have to stop bragging about a high ROAS. It is a vanity trap and it is actively killing your Amazon brand's growth. Just imagine this for a second. Your top competitor is out there aggressively conquering new market share, deploying top-of-funnel campaigns, and stealing the customers of tomorrow. Meanwhile, your team is busy popping champagne over recycled clicks today. It is a dangerous illusion. Why? Because your ad spend is simply taking credit for sales that were already going to happen anyway. You're willingly paying for conversions that your brand equity, your product quality, and your historical ranking had already earned for you. The entire ecosystem is fundamentally changed. Just think about the timeline of how things used to work. In previous years, achieving that high efficiency basically guaranteed you top-of-search dominance. The old algorithm rewarded pure conversion rate. It didn't really care where the customer came from. But under the 2026 Amazon algorithm, things have shifted dramatically. Clinging to those high-efficiency metrics simply does not guarantee organic visibility anymore. The machine has gotten a lot smarter. It now heavily favors net new traffic. It rewards the brands that bring fresh eyeballs and brand new wallets into the ecosystem. So if you're just managing historical metrics and not driving fresh growth, the algorithm is going to ruthlessly deprioritize you in favor of hungry brands that actually bring in that net new traffic.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 2, the mechanics of ad cannibalization.
The most crucial takeaway here is that we have to shift our entire mindset and our financial focus over to incremental sales. We define incremental sales as revenue gained strictly through new advertising efforts. This is the sales data that proves true brand expansion. I want you to ask yourself right now, how much of your current ad budget is just paying for free organic traffic? Because if you aren't actively isolating your baseline performance from your ad attributed lift, you're just paying a premium for sales you would have gotten for absolutely free. Think about it. That's not advertising. That is just a self-imposed tax on your own brand equity.
Picture a massive portion of your budget being entirely swallowed up by redundant branded search while the slice representing your new-to-brand or NTB customers is dangerously shrinking. These branded search campaigns are actively stealing your own organic clicks instead of generating any new demand. It is literally exactly like bringing a watering can to a rainstorm, pouring it on a plant, and claiming you single-handedly grew the crops. It is a complete illusion. You're spending thousands of dollars to intervene in a transaction that was already guaranteed to happen, effectively cannibalizing your own organic profitability just to make your glowing ad dashboard look like a hero.
We have to break down the math here, because the math absolutely does not lie. On one side, you have your reported ACOS, your advertising cost of sales. Sure, it looks highly profitable on the screen, but on the other side, we have to calculate your true ACOS. This is where we strip out those organic sales you were going to secure anyway. By contrasting that reported ACOS with the true ACOS, the stark mathematical reality is exposed. For instance, you might have a campaign boasting a pristine 15% reported ACOS. But when you strip away the cannibalized organic sales, you might find that exact same campaign is actually operating at a 60% true ACOS.
Suddenly, the hidden costs behind that redundant advertising become painfully obvious. That supposed efficiency looks a lot more like a massive, hemorrhage-level leak in your marketing budget.
Now that we've identified this systemic problem of ad cannibalization, we are moving to Section 3, measuring your organic baseline. We need a specific, empirical framework to calculate your real growth.
To figure out what your sales would actually look like with zero ad spend, you have to strip away the noise. And you do this by employing control group strategies. This means implementing what we call dark periods, strategically pausing your ad spend for a set window just to see exactly where your natural sales floor is. Now note, turning off ads completely terrifies most executives. It goes against literally every instinct in the corporate playbook, but it is the absolute only empirical way to find your true baseline. If you can't do that, alternatively, you can utilize geotesting across different regions. You keep ads running in one state while going completely dark in another. This establishes a control group so you can perfectly isolate your natural organic momentum from the paid influence.
Beyond those dark periods, we actually have incredible data at our fingertips to map this all out. Utilizing 2026 Amazon Marketing Cloud, or AMC insights, allows us to map the actual multi-touch path to purchase. Imagine a customer journey like this. Day 1 features a top-of-funnel ad impression. Okay, the customer is aware. But by day 3, that same customer searches your exact brand name and clicks a sponsored ad at the very top of the page. That right there is a completely valueless, redundant click because they were already looking for you specifically. You just paid a premium for a customer who was already walking through your front door. Then, on day 5, they make a final organic purchase. AMC lets us pinpoint those exact redundant touchpoints on day 3, the financial waste happening in that exact moment, so we can stop funding them and redirect that capital to true acquisition.
With our baseline firmly established, it's time to pivot from playing defense to actual expansion in Section 4, strategies for incremental growth. Instead of safely recycling the exact same audience month after month, you have to deploy top-of-funnel tactics. This means aggressive category research and, my favorite, competitor conquesting. Competitor conquesting is where the real battle is won. This means actively and aggressively placing your ads directly on a rival's product page, intercepting their traffic right at the point of decision, and giving that customer a compelling reason to switch to you. You need to actively go out and find customers who aren't looking for you yet. And to ensure this works, you must use new-to-brand metrics as your absolute North Star for scaling ad budgets. If a campaign isn't actively driving NTB metrics, it simply is not driving true growth.
Think about the strategic trade-off between protection and discovery. Look at protection campaigns. The goal there is just brand defense, bidding on your own terms. It feels really safe, but the impact is incredibly low incrementality. It represents a totally stagnant business model. Now contrast that with discovery placements. The goal here is expanding your total addressable market, and the impact is high growth. You have to abandon the false safety of brand defense and embrace the necessary profitable risk of expanding your market. You must ruthlessly reallocate your budget away from those low incrementality protection campaigns and pour it into high-growth discovery placements that actually acquire new customers.
To ensure these aggressive new strategies actually stick and become part of your corporate DNA, we're concluding with Section 5, the weekly incrementality audit. This is your new operational routine. Step 1. Establish your control groups via those dark periods or geotests we discussed. Make this a systematic part of your quarterly planning. Step 2. Measure that baseline organic performance accurately. Step 3. Compare your ad attributed lift directly against that baseline so you can find your true incremental growth. And Step 4. Ruthlessly reallocate your budget to those high-growth top-of-funnel placements. This isn't just a suggestion, this is a non-negotiable framework for success. By following this step-by-step weekly audit process, you ensure that every single dollar spent is aggressively fighting for a sale that wouldn't have happened otherwise.
The ultimate takeaway from this explainer is a total mindset shift. You absolutely must stop managing vanity metrics. I know, the 10x ROAS is incredibly comfortable, and yes, it looks fantastic in a monthly report, but it is a trap that will slowly suffocate your business. You have to step up and start driving genuine, long-term brand expansion in the modern ecosystem. The days of gaming the system with high efficiency on branded search, those days are over. You are no longer just optimizing a spreadsheet, you are tasked with violently expanding market share.
So I'll leave you with this thought. Tomorrow morning, as you sit down at your desk, open your laptop and review your glowing green dashboard, I want you to ask yourself this one critical question. Are you managing metrics or are you driving genuine brand expansion? Look past the illusion, demand the true data behind those numbers, and start building real, sustainable growth.